Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me. I am Ben Pick, and this is Writing to Write, where I used to give questionable writing advice through running metaphors, but have since switched to a productivity sprint format. And for those of you who are here, I'm very sorry I was late. I am in the process of transitioning to a new laptop. This is my main one now, but I keep it upstairs. Try to prevent me from walking up and downstairs with a laptop, or it can easily get broken. I have my older laptop, which was a Windows 10. Windows 10 is basically on the way out the door, even though they did extend the warranty, whatever. I took the proactive approach of changing it to Linux Mint. However, I did some fun things with that setup, so I couldn't actually access some of the files I needed, and I couldn't figure out how to connect to my Bluetooth keyboard. All these other issues to say that I tried to do that in prep. Failed, and then grabbed my new laptop, my official new laptop, which isn't just my old Windows 10 laptop with new OS operating on it. And so now I'm running off this one. So hopefully by next week, I will have everything straightened out. I will copy the sleeping dog video to a folder which I can access to without needing to decrypt my drive or figure out where it is on the Linux environment, because I know it's on there. I just don't necessarily know how to access it. Yeah, so the laptop that I'm using, Richard, is Windows 10, this current one. It's that the other one was Windows 10, but didn't have sufficient whatever to move up to Windows 11, although technically they knocked down some of those requirements. Either way, I said, just whatever. I don't care anymore. We're going with Linux Mint. Bailing out the whole Windows debacle anyways, which is becoming more and more interesting the more and more I hear about it, because there's about to be an all-you-can-eat buffet for security vulnerabilities in older environments or in no longer compliant environments. So this laptop should be fine. My one upstairs should be fine too, because it's Linux now. But it wouldn't have been if I hadn't. Yeah, there's that too. There's going to be a lot of e-waste if everybody who has a Windows 10 device tosses it out and just gets a Windows 11. Or it could be a chance to switch to Linux. I think Linux is significantly more difficult. I probably shouldn't have locked down that device so much as I did. And now that I did do that, can I game on Linux? Yes, I believe I did test that on a couple of things. It's less functional, but I can still do my AoE, so Age of Empires on there. And that is the most important feature, because even with with Windows 11, I bought some games off good old games, Galaxy or whatever, good old games. I bought some classics. So there was Rogue Squadron and Knights of the Old Republic, like the good version of it, the Xbox version. And both of those failed. So I think the one solution for one of those was that I would need to basically install a VM with like Windows 2000 running on it or earlier. And with Knights of the Old Republic, I was trying to map the keyboard keys onto a game controller, so that way it's more fun, because I don't like playing, WASD to move around. And it was just a whole issue, so I just decided to buy the games on Xbox anyways, even though I'd already gotten them on good old games, so kind of a waste there. Anyways, this has been a whole debacle with me electronically for the week, so I'm going to probably try and work on it throughout the week to get back to where I was. Yes, my Xbox also broke. Apparently my 360, I hadn't played it in a year, and I guess the CD-ROM thing the DVD reader was acting up, even though I popped it open, cleaned out all of the dust. There wasn't really much in there. And then I was really careful, like wiping down the laser reader, but that didn't fix the problem, so I took it to a shop. They could send it away for like $70, and then whatever the parts are, they just throw it on top. But it was looking at likely $170 when I can get an improvement on the Xbox that I have for less than that. So it's about $110 for a new Xbox. new Xbox 360. So fun times because everything I've been hearing about gaming with a Microsoft now is getting progressively worse with how they're handling Battle Pass and the fact that they haven't really come out with good games in years. So this has been Ben with the tech update. And with that in mind, I'm going to get started. Since I was 15 minutes late, we're just going to do 20-minute 20-minute sprints. Yes. One of my most popular games that I play is Age of Empires 2, which was 2003, I think. So, yeah. The OG Switch is better than anything that the Switch 2 has at the moment. So, unfortunately, I mean, it's cool that like the Switch 2 is significantly more powerful than the Switch 1. That's great, but there aren't really games that one need to take advantage of that, and two are fun to play. So that's why I'm kind of trying to get my old school devices up and running, because honestly, those games are more fun. I mean, Knights of the Old Republic is showing its age pretty badly. It is very unforgiving in how it does some things. It's certainly in the uncanny valley, but it is so much more fun than any modern game I can think to play. And like, oh, that's not true. Expedition 33 was fantastic, but like, there's a very sharp drop off point after that. And sorry, let's see here. Published with Andy, thank you for joining in and saying hi. I do think it's awesome that you're here, and I know it's very, very late for you, so I appreciate you signed in and said hi. Let's see here. Good luck with that. The Switch 2 catalog is not looking promising. All the best things out there are either remakes or things that were in other platforms. So like updates of some other game that was better on Sony anyways. And like the updates are very debatable. It's like with Chrono Trigger. So sorry, we're going to keep selling on Pro Tour Sprints. We might only get 2 of them in, but Chrono Trigger on Super Nintendo is hands down one of the best games ever made. Period. The gameplay is so much fun. The game style is just so tight in terms of how it tells a story. The versions after that, the PlayStation version was terrible because of all the loading screens. The DS version, in theory, fixed that because you have the anime cutscenes, which were really cool to watch. But it had the downside of trying to clunkily tie it in with Chrono Cross, which was never intended to be a sequel until it was. And then they also threw in some post-game stuff, which completely throws off the pacing. And so those weren't me cracking my knuckles, Richard. Those were just me snapping. So it's the same issue I have with the remake of Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, where it's cool. Some of the additions they made to the game do kind of enhance it, but like the post game takes away all of the enjoyment from it. And I'll just say it, the Super Nintendo version is far superior to what the Switch did, to the version that's on the Switch. That being said, I do think it's cool that we have that option available on the Switch, and I don't want to take anything away from anybody who enjoys the Switch version more. But I do genuinely believe that simple is often better. And in trying to streamline certain things, in trying to change the game in ways that the developers see as, quality of life enhancements. So for other games, that might be like a new map or a new way of displaying the information on screen. Simplest is better. So that's my 2 cents. Yeah, and I agree with you. Like, I don't want to play Stardew Valley, but Stardew Valley is also on the Switch. Like, they might make an updated version for the Switch 2, but that's kind of irrelevant if you can just have the same amount of enjoyment from the original OG software. Okay, anyways, let's actually start writing now that we start off 15 minutes late and then went off onto a wild video game tangent. But I'll give a little teaser for what I'm going to discuss when we get back, which is this book, which is out now. Not mine, obviously. This is Jam Chaley's, but yeah, I'll talk about this when we come back in 20 minutes. Because again, I'm running very far behind, and so I'm only going to do well, only 20 minutes, maybe only 2 sessions. So let's get started really quickly, and I'll see you all in 20. And welcome back, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, how are things going with all the writing? I did about 3 pages and change. So, I'm probably going to do another iteration of the same one. I almost got to the end of the chapter. Luckily, so about, I don't know how long ago, but I was talking about how I was writing a pyramid part where it starts off with one character, next character, next character, next character, next character, and then goes back down in reverse order. And those chapters are all relatively quick turnarounds. So we're looking at 3 to 4 pages. And so this chapter is about 3.5 pages. So I am almost done with the first round of edits, and then I'm going to go back through in the second productivity sprint and do another pass on it. And then hopefully I can add in some of the things I wanted to. And then in the third sprint, I will work on chapter 26 and just sort of carry things away. But I did promise this. So this is Jamie's next book in the Unlife of Lisa Cooper. This is Vengeance. It's the sequel. And in it, Lisa Cooper goes back to her heritage where she goes across the seas to Ireland. And so it's really cool look at both her history and where she's going to go from here. So, of course, her lovely little dog, Bargheist, is with her on the journey. And yeah, The Unlife of Lisa Cooper was a really good book by J.M. Chaley. It involves vampires, fae, political intrigue in terms of those various long-lived families. And this one sort of carries things a little bit further than that, where the actions from the first book dictate this one. So I don't want to really spoil too much, but just say, yeah, this was a really fun vampire story as this woman. The cool thing about Lisa Cooper is that she swore off, well, she tried to at least swear off drinking blood and especially killing people. So that leaves her much, much weaker than others and much weaker than other vampires. And so it's, can she, well, sorry, see, she does drink a little bit of blood, but it's more of, can she hold off her curse? Because there are other vampires who have embraced their curse, and that makes them significantly more powerful than her. So she is much weaker than those of the same age. So really cool book. And yeah, strongly recommend. With that out of the way, oops, I think I hit this thing. All kinds of technical issues. There we go. And we're back. Cool. I hit my little keyboard thing. With that out of the way, I think it's time for another productivity sprint. I want to finish up with this chapter, then we'll hurry on and do the third productivity sprint. So let's get things underway, and I will see you all in 20 minutes. Woo! So I finished up the second pass of chapter 25, which means I'm going to copy it over, remove all my notes, and call it a day. This is a We Are Told chapter. Spoilers. Cool, cool, cool. We are moving right along. Awesome. So I'm going to start up on chapter 6 during the third and final sprint, which will be pretty... Oh boy, this one looks a lot more interesting, and it ends on a fun note. Oh, good. So this is where I get my PG-13 rating, because there's one F-bomb at the very end of this chapter. It took a while to get there, but we finally did. So chapter 25 is done. Chapter 26. Need to copy everything over. Yeah, I have a really weird way of doing this where I have things stored in kind of the cloud through readc, and I normalize everything, but when I'm bouncing back and forth between computers, so that way I have like the one gold standard version that's in readc, and then I just copy everything over. So if I'm working on this computer, if I'm working on my one upstairs, it doesn't matter, because all I have to do is copy the latest iteration of whatever I'm working on in from readc, and then I can just take off from there. So I used to have a local version, which was the gold standard, but now I've shifted across, I guess, technically 3 laptops, because I have this one, I have the one upstairs, and then I have the one where I'll write in the car with. Things are getting too crazy, so I have kind of used readc instead as the go-to standard. And Emma, hey, thank you for being here. And yes, do please hit that like button. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ooh, you commissioned the cover. Cool. Are you going to give a little show and tell for that once it's done, or are you going to... Who did you commission it through? Yes, indeed. Cloud storage is great. I also have lots of local copy backups in case cloud goes completely away. So hopefully I had things handled well enough. Meeple Art, nice, awesome. Yeah, I do strongly support Meeple Art whenever I hear their name. But it is 7:10 right now, my time, so we're going to do one last sprint really quickly, and then I'm going to go off to dinner. So I will see you all later. I'm working on chapter 26 now. I finished chapter 25, and I'm going to keep going through with this forward momentum. This chapter is about the same as the previous, so we're looking at... Oh, no, never mind. We're looking at 6 pages to go through, so I'm definitely not going to finish tonight, but this will get me further along Whew. So I finished up. Well, I didn't really finish anything. I did about a page and a half of chapter 26 for editing. And then I realized that after going on and on about the merits of cloud and whatnot, I'd actually overwritten some previous changes. So I was able to revert the changes. It accidentally saved over for a future chapter because I copied and pasted chapter 25, the edits that I had made, into chapter 35 by accident. So I had gone in the wrong direction. I'd overwritten some other stuff, and I have since fixed everything, I believe. Hopefully, if not, there's going to be a lot of problems. But I think everything looks good here. So cool. I'm going to sign off before I do anything else wrong. And I wish you all a wonderful, wonderful night. I will see you all next Monday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And again, we are almost done with Monday, which is the worst day of the week. So things will only go up from here. That's what I'm trying to say. And I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Take care.